Hey, there we are. Welcome back, everybody, to the Wednesday night live stream. Appreciate everybody being here. I won't lie, about half an hour ago, I wasn't sure if we were going to do this one tonight. I don't know if it's a migraine or what, but I am struggling right now. My head has been pounding. I took a nap this evening, hoping that if I took a short nap with like an ice pack thing wrapped around my head, uh, maybe it would be gone by the time I woke up before the live stream. And I normally don't take naps because when I take naps, I normally only take naps like if I kind of have to, if I'm sick. And I feel like it usually makes me feel worse. If I if I'm not sick and I just like accidentally take a nap, then I always wake up feeling worse and I hate it. So I normally don't take naps, but tried to tonight thinking hoping it would help, but the head is pounding tonight. So bear with me. I appreciate you all being here. Joey from Awesome Cameras, good to see you, brother. Uh Spider, you've got my voice as you work tonight. I hope I don't put you to sleep. Appreciate everybody being here. Rob, Raphael, Jim, Phil, PJ, Ian, Great Vanzini, Evan. Make it a short night. Take care of yourself. I might. We'll see. We do have some mail to open up, though. First up, we have a new book from Jacob Rosenberg. So, friend of the channel. He mentioned that he had a new book coming out. He was like, hey, I've got a new book. It's very different. If you're interested, I'll send one over. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. We'll check it out on stream. So we've got this one. I have zero context other than it's very different, he said, from his last book. So we'll see. And then we've also got Paulie B's new zine right here as well. So we're going to dig into that here in just a minute. Julian, good to see you. My first stream in 3 streams. Missed y'all. Missed seeing you here. Last week, Julian, we took a look at some Sage Sawyer, and we gave a book away. We gave away a copy of Sage Sawyer's new book last week, so you missed a good one last week. Alan, good to see you. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Get my knife here. Let's start with Jacobs here. Oh, damn. Well, Julian, that you didn't miss out. We missed out. Went to her book signing in Carmel. Where's that at? Where's Carmel? That's rad you got to go to that, though. I'm jealous. All right. Switch this over. California, right on. Is it pronounced Carmel or Carmel? Yeah, that makes sense. Carmel. That's my Appalachia coming out. Damn, this is nice. Slipcase. Epicenter. Epicenter. Matt, this came together quick and beautifully. Excited to hear your thoughts. Got all kinds of prints in here. Postcard prints. A lot of early, looks like early 90s skate photos, obviously. Jacob being known for, I would say filming, but all around documenting everything around him. Skateboarding and hip hop in the early 90s. Jacob was on the channel, was it earlier this year? Late last year? He had a book that came out relatively recently. Right Before My Eyes was the title of it. and he was on the channel for a conversation. Speaking of new channel or new conversation coming to the channel, finally, my conversation with Matt Eich. I got around to finally editing that and putting that together, and that will be coming out possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, maybe Friday. But new video with Matt Eich is coming out soon. Fun fact, the art director, designer for this book and Right Before My Eyes is an incredible magician. Yes, Jacob was telling me about that, and he was showing me some of the stuff that guy has done, or showing me some of the work that he had done, maybe that he saw that made him want to work with him on Right Before My Eyes. Maybe that's what it was, and it just looked incredible. Carmel, okay, by the sea. Yeah, I have limited, my California experience is very limited. I've got San Diego, Long Beach, what's it called? San Clemente, a bunch, but that's about it. Unless I'm forgetting something. Wow, this is really nice. I'm gonna open this up. This looks like a poster, maybe. This slipcase is packed absolutely full. Oh my god. Wow. You can't even get this all on the screen here, but this is EMB, Embarcadero, San Francisco. All frame grabs from filming there in a massive poster. That is so sick. Wow. That's huge. All right. Set that here. Let's look at some of these prints. So rad. Greg, good to see you. Give you a little look at the slipcase. Yeah, this is super well made. Damn. Love that. The fisheye effect of the brick there. That looks so good. Wow. All right, so the two different books here. This one interesting. So there's text from, looks like various people, like Anthony Papalardo, Eric Merrill, and Jacob Rosenberg. Looks like a conversation. Okay, so a lot of text to accompany the photos. That's interesting to see, and I like the way those two, yeah, sit together in that slipcase. Super nice. Excited to read that. Little overview kind of layout here. Raise the monitor a little bit, or the desk. All right. Embarcadero, San Francisco, 1990 to 1993. So I've never been to San Francisco. Obviously never Embarcadero. But I've seen it many, many times and in many different forms through photos and videos over the years. So all you need to know if you're not familiar with it already is a lot of skateboarding, a lot of history. That's pretty sure that's a young Carl Watson right there. Pretty sure. That's a rad one. Just a nose manual on the flat, but it's a sick photo. Oh, nice. Mike Carroll. Jim. It's also a great street photography area. Tourists abound. Oh, I bet. I could see that. This has taken me back to not the early 90s. This time frame, I was, you know, a toddler. I was born in 90. So, but the sort of just like loitering feel of looking through these, you know, just seeing people in between skating as well, just kind of sitting around, hanging out, and then the occasional portrait in there. It just, like, you know, little photos like this, it immediately takes me back to when I was growing up skating, you know. These are all from 1990 to 1993, Matt. So these were all film. Rad. I love these. All the different sequences. Some of them look like just individual frame grabs, others are sequences. If anybody plays Session, EMB is in the game Session on the San Francisco map. Played that a bunch until the new Skate came out. And I was fully convinced that I was just not going to be into the new Skate game once I saw the first like the first trailer for it or whatever. Once you could really see how they made it look and everything, and I was like, oh man, they messed it up. And I've put many late night hours in Skate already with a few friends. It's so fun. Yeah, exactly. Skate's pretty bomb to just pick up and mess around. That's exactly it. Like, it's so. It took me a minute because I've spent the last like 4 years playing Session, getting used to that left and right trigger for turning and the dual stick control. So it took me a minute to get that muscle memory back from playing the original Skate trilogy for years. But man, once it came back, yeah, it's so fun to just pick up and cruise around. No, Tim, I don't think Skate is out on the Switch. It's also not on Steam Deck, unfortunately. So my only time to play is when I have control of the actual TV in the living room. So that's when the children are asleep usually. So otherwise it's Paw Patrol or Coco or Moana or Lion King or Lion Guard or Toy Story or, so on and so forth. Phil, so you got your first digital in 99? Damn. That feels like you were early adopter or ahead of the curve maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe we were just in a bubble out here, but that feels early for digital for me. This is so rad. And again, there's a whole body, like when I mentioned earlier before we even cracked this open, how I said Jacob is obviously for filming and photography, but just all around documentarian. We get into that in the conversation on the channel, but the way he keeps record of and has kept record of everything for so long pays off when you're putting together something like this. So super, super cool to see. Major shout out to Jacob for sending this in. I don't know. I think Tim asked if this was available yet. I'm not sure if it is. Let me take a look online, and if so, I should have texted him before this, but yes, it is. Let me copy that and please I'm at work. Please don't scream like last time. Rakesh, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. There we go. Put that back. Okay. So link is in the chat if anyone is interested in checking this out. This is, again, comes in this super nice slip case right here. Both books. I'm going to do this both hands so I don't damage the corners of the books. And then we've got this print in here as well, and this massive poster, which once I get the walls finished in here, I think that's going to have to go up in a frame because that's super rad. I'm going to slide that in there. Okay. We got another package to open up. This time being from Mr. Paul Baldonado. Now, when you see us in the streets, you know what I mean? If that's ringing a bell. I don't want to damage anything in here. I'm trying to think. I think I bought the zine and sticker pack, if I remember right. Evan, I had a Thrasher subscription from around 92 to 97. That's so sick. I don't think I got my first Thrasher until 2000. Well, yeah, it would have been 2003. Around 2003 to probably 2010, I would say. I had consistent subscriptions to Thrasher, Skateboarder, and Transworld, and then one by one, and the Skateboard Mag, and one by one they all started fizzling out. Always loved the Skateboard Mag. The photography and just art direction of the Skateboard Mag, I was a big fan of. And then they tried to revive it at one point, and I think Steve Barrow was behind it, maybe, or it was something. There was something weird that went down with it, and Barrow was involved. I can't remember, but that was around maybe like 2017, 2018, maybe. I think 2017. I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Pauly B, Paul Baldonado. Great YouTube channel. I'm sure everybody here already knows. Walkie Talkie. If you're into street photography, Pauly, in my opinion, I have always just loved his approach to how he shares the whole, I was going to say New York street photography scene, but over the years, he's gone all over and shared people from all over the place. And it's just rad. I love the way he does it. It's a fun format, and it just lets the photographers be themselves, and it's just rad. It's all around a good channel. Pauly's videos on his own work as well. And just Pauly himself is a super good dude. So, super excited. Check this one out. Grab a drink. I'm trying to, I'm going for the Diet Coke. I'm hoping maybe the Diet Coke can help with the migraine. We'll see. This is sick. So this, like, sticker here for the ticket, like, wraps around the cover. If you can see, wraps all the way around. Flight 400 TX. Seat F8. That's so sick. I love it. Hell yeah. Love you, Pauly. This sequence of photographs was made during trips to film my Walkie Talkie series, images found between interviews, airports, and the wanderings in each place. Hell yeah. Oh, oh, that tugs at the heartstrings. FaceTiming the kids while you're away. Oh, that's the perfect way to start it. First time I ever flew on a plane, Nora was like 6 months old? Yeah, she was about 5 or 6 months old, I think. And yeah, had a full-blown panic attack after landing because I was like, my kid is so far away. I was like, I flew to Utah. It's like, what if something happens? I was freaking out. See, like, I love it opens up, like, this is a father's perspective, you know? Like, opening up the first photo, FaceTiming the kids at home, and then, you know, watching a father and son, kids playing, like, families loading up the strollers, loading up the kids. It's like that's all you see when you're not with your kids and your family. Yeah, it's everywhere you look. It's all you're thinking about. Oh, that's awesome. Greg, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Greg. I might be with Lindsay there. Yeah, maybe get a fan going, get a draft, get a draft blown in there. Javier, you got the right idea. I do need that. I love that one. Love that one too. San Francisco. Chad, didn't realize you were a skater at heart. Obviously, yes, I see the Jason Lee deck from time to time. Skated and traveled the country a lot back in the day. Also, I love these live viewings. Thanks for being here, Chad. Yeah, I used to skate all of the time. Skating and photography. I got my first camera and first skateboard within a month of one another. At like a really pivotal time. I was 13 and in the middle of a chaotic kind of situation, and those were the two things that kept me sane, I think. So just latched on to both of them, and yeah, the two, as I'm sure you know, just go hand in hand in so many different ways. And so getting into skating was also the perfect opportunity for me to like have something to constantly photograph. So me and my friends, that was the whole way of learning, you know. The first obsession, camera or board. I mean, really, the first obsession. I mean, I had a video camera before I had the skateboard and like photo camera. So I was always interested in cameras. Always just had fun with using my parents' VHS camera and Polaroid cameras, and so I got my first little Hi8 cassette camera, and then mini DV after that. So always loved camcorders and just using a camera, but when when I found skating, it was like the camera came along with it, but skating was all I really cared about. It was like, I want to go skate, I want to film skating, I want to take photos of skating, I want to watch skate videos. Like I didn't consume I wasn't looking at photography art. I wasn't looking at photo books. I wasn't looking at the history of photography. I wasn't consuming any of it. I was just using the camera. You know what I mean? So the passion definitely grew over time, and I understood, like, I love skateboarding, but I'm a far better photographer than I am a skateboarder. You know what I mean? So, like, that passion and, like, oh, I love that. Ending on that one. The first photo too, she like had sort of a sad expression too, and this one she's smiling. I love that. Oh, that's so good. Polly, the man. If you have not picked up a copy, matter of fact, one sec. Yes. Grab that. And there we are. In the chat right now, there's a link to Travel Frequency. So if anyone wants to pick this up, Pauly B's newest zine, he's got a few different options. You can get just the zine. You can get the zine with stickers, zine with a print. There's a bunch of different options there. So check this out. Check out his YouTube channel, Walkie Talkie. Pauly's the man. Love you, Pauly. Now, to answer the question, though, yeah, it's... Skating was... That gave me, like, insight into so much in terms of, like, my tastes for things. You know, the way things look, the way I dressed, the music I listened to, all of that kind of stuff. It shapes everything. So skating was like the first identity kind of thing, but yeah, really developed the passion for using the camera, because then that taught me how to use the camera, but it just opened up possibilities for outside of just the skateboarding context, you know. So taking photos of friends' bands, and then getting older in high school and friends start graduating. You know, we go into our senior year and friends are like, take my senior pictures. I don't want some random, 40-year-old dude taking my senior photos. Like, that was how we felt at the time. And for several years in high school and a few years outside of high school, I did a lot of senior portraits, and it was mostly like young guys who, I mean seniors, but like guys who, not all of them, but like a lot of them were ones that I think I could relate to, because I could tell like they didn't want to get their photo taken. Their parents just were making them do it. You know what I mean? Now, like, I don't do senior portraits or any of that stuff. At least around here, it's like a big production. It's a whole thing, and like multiple shoots and like all kinds. And I enjoyed just keeping it simple and not going. What's the word, like, or how do I describe it? You don't need to be a lot for people who don't want a lot. You know what I mean? And so I would just try to keep things simple. And I enjoyed kind of just knowing that, like, the people who didn't need or want the full-blown production for their senior pictures because they're just not that kind of person, I enjoyed working with those kind of people because I could relate to it. That was me and a lot of my friends. So all of that stuff just came from skating, though. Like, learning how to take photos of people and like finding the angles or whatever, like trying to find flattering angles, which I definitely didn't. I wasn't like prepared when I started, but I don't think anyone really is. All that to say, like, I didn't have any sort of training. I didn't have a mentor or anybody. It was just a lot of trial and error. Yeah, the fisheye lens. I remember getting little fisheye adapters for my mini DV camcorder. Um, I would get them off of eBay. They were just the little thread-on fisheyes, though, and it wasn't. I never had like a Canon GL2 or a VX or anything like that back then. Like it was a little JVC mini DV like dad cam. It was the camera my dad bought to film my brother's football games. So that was all the use it was getting. And then when my brother's accident happened that put him in a wheelchair, then obviously no more football games. That was when he was in the hospital was when I got my first skateboard. So then it was like, well, now that camera is immediately that's going to be the skate camera. So pretty much right away that was what I started using to film skating. I didn't film too much skating on Hi8. Were you shooting film for those? For the senior portraits, if that's what you're asking, I did for like just alongside. I had a Nikon D60 that I used for senior portraits back then. But I would also have my XGM, and occasionally, like just for my friends who liked the way it looked, I would use my XGM alongside it. But mostly just, yeah, the Nikon D60. And then used that until 2009. 2009, I got the D90 and used that for about 3 years, and then had the D800 after that. That was my DSLR evolution over the years. D60, D90, D800, and then had the D800 until maybe 2014, and then I went mirrorless, I think, in 2014. But yeah. D800 does still slap. I got to shoot with one like maybe a year ago. The board of DD for Ross County here in Ohio, I do photos for them, and I went in there and they were like, here, we have this is our camera that we have just like on hand. It's the work, the office camera, and it's a D800 with like a 24 to 105 or whatever Nikon's, I don't know if they have a 24 to 120 or a 24 to 105. It's one of those. And yeah, I hadn't used a DSLR at that point in years. And so, or at least a full frame. I hadn't held specifically the D800 since I owned it. So, but yeah, that camera still holds up. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a video. Let me see. Well, yeah, you can see. This is like not even half of the hard drives I've been going through. I'm doing a video kind of doing a deep dive on the digital files, knocking the dust off of all of the hard drives that I haven't looked at in years, and trying to kind of find photos that can still have a life, whether it be in a portfolio or in a zine. Just trying to like sort my way through it. And so I'm just kind of filming the process and like sharing how I'm going about it and what I'm finding. I hope it'll be interesting. I don't know. We've talked about it on stream before, and that's how I got the idea. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But all that to say, I came across some D800 files from working in the cemetery. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. I said I said I stopped at the D800. I had the D750 after that. That's what it was. I went to, I think, the Fuji X Pro 1 and XT1 briefly, and then I went to the D750. I think that was, regardless, I had the D750 for a while, and I really, really liked that camera, and used it for video, for the YouTube channel, and kind of when I started learning more about like proper video, not just using a camcorder. A lot of that was learned with the D750. What's up, Bamron? No, Ian, I know of Briscoe Park's work. I think following them on Instagram, if I remember right. But I didn't know that there was a book out. I'll have to look into that. There was another question. Matthew Young, thanks for being here. Oh, the first deck. That's what it was. Chad. The first deck I had was a Zorlak board. Family I was staying with while my brother was in the hospital, they essentially my family. We're not blood related, but might as well be my direct growing up. It felt like my second parents. She was our babysitter from when my brother and I were like 6 weeks old until we were old enough to, not need a babysitter, essentially, but always considered them family. And then when my brother's accident happened, that's who I stayed with while him and my parents were at the hospital. So helped them paint their house that summer, and she was like, we'll, take you to the store, buy you something, whatever. And that was when I was like, I want to get a skateboard, because I knew I wanted to do something. Had a lot of that should have been me kind of feelings, because he played every sport imaginable, and excelled at it, and was just a natural athlete. And I didn't care about sports. I rode my bike, played video games, didn't subscribe to the whole traditional sport route, but felt like I'm taking that for granted. That should have been me. I could get by, without, I don't know. Seeing him lose all of that was just puts a lot into perspective. And so knew I wanted to do something. Didn't want to play sports, but always thought skateboarding just looked cool. That, as simple as that. Playing the Tony Hawk video games, looking at skate magazines at Kroger, waiting for my mom to get off work. It just always looked cool from an outside perspective. And so went to Champ Sports in Chillicothe, and they still carried skateboard stuff at the time, but they were closing out everything. So they had all of their skateboard stuff marked down crazy. So there was some Zorlak complete, and it didn't really have a graphic to it. It was a green stain on the bottom ply, a dark kind of pine green stain with just a white Zorlak logo, printed on there. It was super, super minimal. But that was the first board I had. And then I think we ended up spray painting something on it, we took everything off and tried to make our own graphic off of it at one point. But what do you look for in a film lab? These days, decent pricing and decent turnaround time. I mean, obviously look into reviews and make sure it's a reputable lab. I see new labs popping up all the time, just in my feed and stuff. Wish everybody all the best in the world, but depending on what film you're sending, if you're sending in rolls of film from a wedding, go to a well-established, long in business, reputable lab that you can send your stuff to and trust. If you want to find a lab that you can start working with for just your personal stuff, and you wouldn't mind working with a newer lab, just go with what you can afford and what your turnaround time you're comfortable with. That would be what I would look for, honestly. Yeah. Affordability. That's a new word. Affordability. Anybody else? Anybody else catch that? Apparently that's a new word. Um, would your brother ever come on the stream? That's a good question, Rob. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Yesterday was his birthday. He just turned 39. He might come on stream sometime. Although normally at this point he's already in bed. And we're out here in the barn. but if we ever I don't know. I've wanted to. It's so funny because we're just we're totally we're so similar in some ways, but then in other ways we're completely different. And so just the idea of like even just pointing the camera at him, it's just funny because he would just be like, "What are you doing?" Like, what? Like he just it's yeah. I don't know. It would be sweet to have him on, and like I've wanted to do some kind of like podcast with me and my brother, because we're so different, and I want it to be, I don't know. Part of me wants to, because he's like a huge history buff. He's so smart. Like, we'll be, he'll have Jeopardy on, and he's just shouting out every answer, and it's shit I've never heard of. And if I did, I couldn't tell you when. You know what I mean? Like, he's just that kind of person, and I'm not. And so I thought it would be fun to have him retelling some historical moments, things that maybe I forgot and that maybe most people forgot, and just hearing him break things down because he's funny. But I don't know. At some point, I would love to do a podcast or something with him, or a live stream, like a gaming stream would be sick, because he's always gaming. He's got Elliot playing World of Warcraft. He got my mom's old laptop, and we've got World of Warcraft on it for Elliot, and he got Elliot a mouse because he was like, he can't be playing with a trackpad, dude. So him and Elliot have been playing that lately. I've never played, but I don't know. Something like that would be sick too. Let's go wake him up on stream. He would love that. I just take the camera in, carry in my computer and phone, just barge in his bedroom. Hey, dude. Sorry, man. When are we going to see that 2K rebate check? I think I don't know, because I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to spend my Doge check on. I haven't cashed that one yet. My Doge check is still just sitting on the fridge, and I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to spend that on before I figure out what I'm going to spend my fresh 2K on. How's the new gig going? Jeremy, it's going amazing. I went back in today. I stayed home yesterday to work on video stuff. Have got a ton of video and photo work that I've been catching up on. So stayed home yesterday, worked on that, and went back in today. And it was, I was thinking about it like in the moment, how yesterday was so scattered and all over the place. I was working on like family photos that I took that needed to be delivered, and then photos for the school, and then a video for a doctor's office, a video for like a teen program here in Chillicothe, the Paper City Mentorship Program. Shout out to them. Working on those videos, filming and editing YouTube videos. It was like all of these different switching gears and a lot of computer stuff, and, just all over the place, and a lot of the mental thinking and decisions and this and that. And then today going in and just seeing a massive stack of frames that were ready to be sanded, and I'm just like, cool. I just go go in and put the headphones on and get to it. And yeah, it's a great balance. I enjoy it. It would be all of us original GoPro followers. It's funny, Rob, you mentioned that. Elliot was just asking me the other day, like 2 days ago. He was like, "Have you ever had a GoPro?" I was like, "That's what I started my YouTube channel with." Am I missing something? What's the Doge check? No, you're not missing anything, Joey. All of America is. Everyone that was told, "Oh yeah, the Doge check is coming. It's in the mail." Uh, Along with the supposed 2K tariff check we're all gonna get. Zorlak, yeah, Zorlak is that's going way back. Yeah, that's how I got my Z8. Anthony finally picked up the Q343, loving it. Oh hell yeah. Uh, that's one that I when I did buy my Z8, um, it was like I needed a work camera. I needed something for work specifically. That's why I sold my X2D, and that was the one camera that I thought if I didn't have to buy a camera for work purposes, for video and photo, and like the specific needs that I have for it, the Q343 is the one that was really appealing to me. I haven't tried the what's it called, the EV1. I don't know that would be. I don't know, because part of me thinks that would be more appealing to me, but at the same time, I think I don't know, because that 43 millimeter lens on the Q3 43 is insane, like just an insane lens, and just having the fixed lens, I don't know. That was I've never been tempted to buy any of the other Q cameras, but that was the first one where I was like, this is more of my speed, just for the sake of the lens. Yeah, yeah. Tariff checks would be amazing, since they would basically just be a tax rebate. That was the thing. It's like, so they're gonna take money from the tariffs, and specifically people lower middle class are gonna be the ones getting the checks. So like, kind of socialism. Socialism with a red hat. Have you shot much video with the Z8? Which codecs are your favorites? I actually have. I haven't shot any of the Nikon RAW though. I personally don't need it for my workflow and my needs. If people, you know, uh, if you need it, it's good to have it. If you need it for some kind of production, but like my stuff is not really that. I don't know what the word for it, serious. You know what I mean? Like the just filming an in-log, the uh, H.265. What's the? I'm trying to think what the. I can't remember. Is it all I? I can't remember on the Z8. It's up here. I honestly haven't touched it. I film in like the highest bit rate that I can get in just standard in-log. And yeah, I never mess with filming in like higher frame rates. You know what I mean? Like it's always just 24 frames, and it doesn't do 4K DCI, does it? I don't think it does. Um, Occasionally, I used to film 4K DCI on the SL2, and I liked that a lot. But yeah, just the standard Um, never film ProRes either. Um, that's another one that it's like it's comforting to know that it's there if I ever need it, but genuinely just haven't needed it. I've been super impressed with the Nikon video. I've found that the in-log, I just lean on overexposing it. Not like aim for overexposure, but if I'm, in an environment where I'm looking like I'm at just, zero on the EV, or if I'm even close to underexposing, I know I need to change something because I've just found it's the grade, everything holds up a lot better if you avoid the underexposure, which is great because I would kind of rather that than wanting to underexpose everything, because then I would just need more ND. It's been nice to work with for what I do, at least. Most of the time I'm in like a controlled lighting scenario, like filming, talking head kind of stuff like this, or even if I'm filming like at a doctor's office and filming client work like that, I'm usually bringing in lights and things and controlling everything. But occasionally I'll be just sort of like run and gun, and I'm, I've got a variable ND in there, and lighting scenarios are changing, and it holds up really, really well across, pretty high dynamic range scenarios. I'm thinking back to, as a matter of fact, if you guys would be interested in it, I might do a video just kind of sharing some of the footage that I filmed with the Z8, because now that I've had it for a solid year and have done more and more video with it, I feel like I have more examples to share that aren't just me talking to the camera, But I filmed some stuff at a ceramic, like a pottery studio downtown, and for one of the clients recently, and it looked great in there. Filming a lot of like backlit stuff from sort of the back of the shop, like facing the big wall of windows up at the front of the shop. So a lot of backlit stuff, really high contrast, and it ended up looking really, really good. So yeah, I might put together a video like that sometime. That might be good. Skateboarders have a weird fixation on old low-res footage. Yeah, the VX, that's the mini DV interlaced fisheye. Yeah, it's all ingrained in us. There's a specific nostalgia that's baked in with all that stuff. There's a bumper sticker. I think Jenkem made it. They're the ones who made the front salad, back salad, front blunt hat that I used to wear a lot before I grew all my hair out. Now I can't wear hats. They made a bumper sticker that says, keep honking. I'm watching the 2004 cinematic masterpiece, Baker 3. Or was it 04? Was it 04 or 05? I can't remember. Maybe it was 05. But that's a bumper sticker I need. Oh, the Sony Trinitron? Dude, I tracked down a Sony Trinitron on Facebook Marketplace probably in like 2015, I want to say, for just for my GameCube, because I'd never bought a GameCube before, and I was like, I need one that I can specifically use these component cables, and so I had a bunch of different older consoles hooked up to that Trinitron, and that thing was heavier than the Ford Focus I loaded it into at the time. 2005, yeah. I couldn't remember. I was like, because yeah, it was 04 when I got my first board, April of '04. Yeah, because I was 13. I'm about to turn, my birthday's in 11 days. So, that's crazy. That's 21 years ago. I'm sort of considering buying a Nikon digital when I'm ready instead of going Leica digital. The photos I see out of Nikon digital look really good. I will be honest, Greg. I mean, I'm very, very happy with my Nikon files, and the Z8, I love the way that camera feels. The ZF, I bought the small rig grip. I don't even own the ZF. I have to send it back. I actually have to send it back on my birthday, on the 30th of this month. I have to send it back to Nikon. But I bought the grip anyway, the small rig grip, because I figure I can just sell it when I'm done anyway. But I wanted to try it out for the sake of using the camera and just sharing my thoughts on it, because a lot of people have said that the grip makes a big difference, and it does. You compared to a Leica camera, you can feel the difference in just the overall build quality. Not to say that that means that the ZF or something is going to fall apart or it's cheap or whatever. It's not even that. It's like, yeah, you can the M's, the SLs, all of them, the Q's even, like they have a nice feel to them. But yeah, what's the word of the day? Affordability. You know, and that's why I always talked about that in videos, especially talking about Leica cameras. Even when I owned and like regularly used them. Granted, that was mostly when I was doing like weddings full time. But even when I had the M11, it's like I can afford this right now and I can enjoy this right now, but it's a camera that is going to be sold at some point. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. I'm grateful that I had the privilege to be able to use various Leica digital cameras over the years. But man, at the end of the day, they're not getting you any better photos. You know what I mean? So yeah. And yeah, Greg, I think I can adapt my Leica glass to one. Absolutely. They even make autofocusing adapters now, for like Leica M glass on a Nikon Z mount body that will autofocus, or on a Sony E mount body that will autofocus. There's all kinds of, new technology that's breathing new life into these older lenses. And I mean, again, that's like the conversation on the EV1 that we talked about. Is it a camera for everybody? Of course not. Neither is the M. You know what I mean? But people were up in their arms about like, whether or not that camera should exist or whatever. And it's like, dude, some people just don't want to use a rangefinder. And maybe they have a ton of M-mount lenses. Maybe they have a bunch of M-mount lenses that don't pull up actual frame lines, like a 21 millimeter or a 40 millimeter or whatever. Who wants to use a 135 lens on a rangefinder that isn't named Ralph Gibson? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of upside to seeing through the lens. So yeah, adapt it, throw it on a Pentax camera, do your thing, do whatever you want with it, man. Thoughts on starting a vintage/film lens cleaning business these days is a good idea. Cleaned my entire collection and found a great deal of satisfaction in it. I mean, there's absolutely like, there's no harm in trying it out. I wouldn't have any idea on like business advice or any of that aspect of it, but just in terms of thinking about the need for it, we need more people who can do things and can take things apart and can work on things and keep things going, because um, it's a lot like just trades in general. Like, it's very needed. How many people around living today have taken something apart and like worked on it to fix it? You know what I mean? Or specifically worked on lenses, taking lenses apart, like compared to 50 years ago or whatever. Just something to think about. There's probably a lot more people willing to send their lens out to be cleaned than there are people willing to do that work themselves. So that's just my guess. It's not legal advice, but is a digital M a good investment? Can I sell it in 6 years for the same price? No, not for the same price. You can often get much more of your money back when you sell it, as if it were, or as opposed to, one of the other cameras, whether it be a Nikon, a Sony, a Canon, whatever. Um, you're going to get more of that money in return when you sell it. Typically, despite it being often like a bigger investment and a bigger price tag you have to put on it, I've found that it's often easier to sell Leica gear. There are a lot of like Leica classifieds on Facebook, Rangefinder Forum, or Fred Miranda. Like, there's a bunch of different Leica specific kind of places to buy and sell gear. And there are a lot of people who that's their thing. They buy and collect a lot of Leica stuff. Couldn't be me, but it's, to some people that's what they like to collect. So, you know, whether or not it's a good investment, I mean, I could sell my M6 today and get more than I paid for it when I bought it in 2013. And I've never had a digital camera that I bought and could sell for a higher price. So, but of course, the film cameras, I mean, who knows what an M6, of course, it's the TTL version. Now they're remaking the M6 reissue, but asking as a fellow Ohioan, hell yeah, Ian. Have you struggled with flat compositions? Obviously, the landscape is flat, but colors and buildings feel restricting too. Maybe just because I don't love shooting landscape/Americana. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I feel like all I'm doing is looking at a horizon. Does that make sense, Ian? The wintertime, I feel like all I'm doing is looking at a horizon line and just a few vertical lines. That everything sort of feels like mostly one big horizon line and a few vertical lines. That's how and it gets like, you think you've taken the photo before sometimes, where you're staring at something, you're like, did I take this photo here? Did I take it 30 minutes east of here and it looks identical? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's winter time is brutal. And we got snow a week or 2 weeks ago. We got some snow, and all of the leaves, most of the leaves, at least around here, with that first freeze, everything just dropped. And it was like fall disappeared overnight. And now the snow has obviously melted. It was only around for a couple of days, but now now we're just in winter. Now we're fully in, everything is just gray and brown and yeah. So I don't know. Winter's tough, man. I do get it. Asking your question, have I struggled with it? Yeah. Many, many years. But yeah, that's part of it. I get excited when I get some sunlight on a sunny day. It's like every once in a while that sun will come out, and then it's like everything all of a sudden is coming to life again, even if just for like half an hour. And those are like the little bits of, of a break that we get. Yeah. Yeah, very similar layout in the buildings across cities as well, so even urban stuff can look repetitive. Yeah, I totally get that. I can imagine. Um, Everything would just start looking like, various forms of stone and brick. And just did a road trip through Ohio last week, going to a couple of concerts in Cleveland and Columbus. Thankfully missed that snow, but enjoyed spending a few days wandering around the state. Hell yeah, Alex. That's awesome. What venues did you go to in Cleveland and Columbus? The sweet spot for Leica film right now are the Leica Flexes. You can get a clean Leica Flex SL with a Summicron for $600 to $750. Yeah, the Leica S mount, is that what it is? Or no, I'm sorry, R mount. R mount cameras and the older SLs. I've seen a lot of people use those lenses and modify them into like a more cinema lens housing. And use them specifically just for video. Same here. When it gets below 0, you don't want to shoot. Oh, I'm dreading when it gets that cold. God, yeah, it's depressing. But that's probably going to be it for this stream. If anybody has any last minute questions, we'll probably close it out here in just a few. Growing up in Illinois, I thought that was flat, but when I traveled, I realized got a lot of rolling prairie. Nebraska is flat, flat, flat. Yeah, I've never been to Nebraska. There are parts of Ohio that are pretty flat. There are some decent hills around here, but where we're at specifically, we're at a pretty flat part of the county. Minus the Barrett House of Blues in Cleveland, and the Academy is at Bluestone in Columbus. It's an old church in downtown. I haven't heard of that one, Bluestone. I heard of the House of Blues, obviously, but Bluestone, I hadn't heard of that, Alex. I'll check that out. That sounds rad. There used to be an old camera store in an old church in Columbus. It was called Columbus Camera Group. It's actually where I bought my first medium format camera, my RB67. Yeah, Columbus Camera Group was sick. And it was just like this old church, just cluttered with anything you can think of in an old photo store. Just piles of shit everywhere. It was awesome. Yeah. Greg says, I think because of the cinema crowd, good R glass is hard to come by. Yeah, that would make sense. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I think hopefully a solid night's rest. Hopefully tomorrow, wake up and the headache will be gone. Forgot it was Wednesday and missed the stream. Gonna have to watch the replay. It'll be up, Jake. Thanks for stopping by. We looked at a couple books, and yeah, appreciate you all being here. Thank you all for hanging out. Oh, wait. Oh, hell yeah. World of Photography. I've been there. Glad you got to stop in there, Alex. I'm in Pittsburgh, and I've been to a bunch of shows in Cleveland. Always a good time. Hell yeah, Bamron. Robert Adams book for $19 today. Hell yeah, Jake. Enjoy it. All right, everybody. Well, appreciate you. Again, as always, thanks for hanging on the stream with me. We'll be back next week. And, yeah, new videos coming this week and next, as well as the live stream next week. But that's it for this one. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week.